Right now I'm running for City Council, and I'm asking the people of Ward 1, the good people of Ward 1, to support me for City Council here in Searcy. And Ward 1, if you don't know, is basically everything east of Highway 16 and north of Race Street, all the way followed out to the city limits. So River Oaks, Sunny Hill, Kingwood, some of those big neighborhoods over there. You know, growing up here in Searcy, I've lived here most of my life, and I've always been kind of tuned into local events and local politics. And over the past few years, I've really just kind of seen what I would call really just a pattern of abuse of power from our city government. I think they're out of touch with the voters of Searcy. I think they're out of touch with the voters of Ward 1 and the values that they hold. We've seen, just in the past year, we've seen the City Council raise taxes by 4% in Searcy, in the middle of what's been, some people have called the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've seen them raise taxes by 4%. We've also seen them limit the number of yard sales that Searcy citizens can have, and I see that as abusive. I see that as an abuse of power. But I think it's a problem, and I think those are two of the big reasons why I've decided to do this. I believe very firmly in keeping taxes low in Searcy and keeping regulation low. I obviously think there's a proper role of government, but I think the current mayor and current city council don't understand what that proper role of government is. And so some of the things I want to see, as we've discussed again, cutting taxes, cutting waste, keeping our regulations down, and just overall just improving efficiency in our city government. And you know, if it's not broke, why mess with it? You know, why do we need to tax 4% more of our local economy and hurt our local businesses when everything's great? We've built a new baseball field every year for the past 3 or 4 years. We've built a new soccer facility. We've done all that without raising taxes. I would say politically, anytime, of course, you talk about Republican politics, you got to talk about Ronald Reagan. And I think he's such a good example of what I aspire to be. We obviously share the same values of keeping government small yet efficient, keeping taxes low, keeping regulation low, all those things that do come into play even at the local level. And so I think anytime you talk about, you know, conservative politics, you've got to talk about Ronald Reagan, obviously. Personally, my parents have always been there for me, always been strong Christian examples, and taught me what was right. And you know, my mom taught me American history growing up. Always, you know, at the dinner table, whenever we were had some downtime, it was always about, you know, American values and what America was about. My dad's taught me so much about working hard, being a hard worker, and being a good Christian, moral man, and never selling out your principles, never giving up on what you believe in, no matter the circumstances. So I owe a lot to them. To the people of Searcy, I would just say, you know, I want your vote, obviously, but you know, I think we have a special relationship. I think I share the values of the people of Searcy. I don't think that the current mayor or the current council do. And you know, some people say, well, that's dirty politics. Well, it's not. I feel it's the truth. I feel like the people of Searcy and the people of Ward 1 are more in line with what I stand for, what I will represent. That is keeping taxes low, keeping regulation low, having a transparent government, a government that is accountable, and a government that responds to its constituents and the people that it represents, not just a government that sits in City Hall all day and doesn't answer the phone and doesn't answer emails and doesn't respond to the concerns of their citizens. So to the people of Searcy, I would just say I would love to have your vote. I appreciate all the support I've already had, and I look forward to serving them.